Hello everyone, and welcome back to hell. I'm your host, Satan, because nor bad. Anywho, after the painful trip that was reading through some Chris Tran cringe, I guess, I decided I should do a more typical video afterwards, and it's like the second upload in a day, so here you go. Now, I have got something planned for a certain degenerate, but that's more of a surprise for when it comes out. And instead we're going to be talking about Puppychan. Now, I had a full-blown video discussing everything planned, right? But I had other shit to deal with, and there was really no point in discussing everything. But yeah, now that Puppychan's been cancelled into the friggin' stratosphere yet again, I might as well make a video discussing that specific part, rather than doing an abridged history. So, grab your kids, grab your wife, grab your goddamn Fanta, and let's just get into it. So, what exactly happened this time with Puppychan? Well, they've gotten into some shit in the past few months for constantly suicide baiting and, of course, posting suggestive art on a Twitter that's followed by a lot of children. But this new drama isn't really like those, in a way, because now they're being called out for inappropriate behavior with a child. So, this whole thing was kicked off on Twitter, because of course it was. Every time someone gets outed as a creep, it happens on fucking Twitter, because Twitter is absolute cancer. Now, one thing you'll have to keep in mind, right, is that this kid that we're going to be talking about is 15. Yep. 15. And Puppychan is 19. Just to give you, a sense of the severity of the situation. 15 and 19. So, let's go ahead and read off the Discord messages that got leaked, because they're essential for the context here. I wanna draw suggestive art, but, maybe make a locked account, post that stuff, and only let trusted accounts see it. That's not good enough, you see. I wanna post it on my main like how I did on my old account, but a bit less suggestive. Oh, then you can do that. I see some other minor artists do it. Just try not to show too much skin or overly suggestive poses. I don't want creepy adults preying on you. What are some examples I should know about? How much skin is too much? What poses are too suggestive? And I'm not going to read that last part because I really do not lack that much self-respect. What happened? I thought you drew this and I was keyboard spamming. Legit, I'm crying. I did, lol. Wait, that's your art? Yeah. Pretty degenerate behavior, I must say. Like, you as a 19-year-old shouldn't be encouraging a kid my age to be drawing shit like that, and enabling it by telling them to keep the account locked makes it even worse because you're not doing your goddamn job as an adult, right? And then allowing them to share art that you drew with a girl showing up her goddamn dump truck ass and huge chest is even more irresponsible. So, people on Twitter were of course pretty upset because, again, 1915, art was suggestive and all of that jazz, so... And then Puppychan tried responding to it, which I will state here. Quote, my defense. I'm responding to all the posts that are calling me a groomer. I did not groom this kid. I was trying to give them advice to keep themselves safe from weirdos. As that one screenshot was going around twisting it, this is wrong. As I said, it would be better to post it on a locked account instead of the public to keep them safe, along with me saying I don't want creepy adults preying on you, and also suggesting drawing stuff that won't attract those people, as I was trying to help this kid. But the kid still wanted to draw suggestive stuff, and I straight up said it's mainly because I'm an adult. Yeah, you are an adult. That's what gives you the right to post suggestive art, of course, to adults. The reason why kids get cancelled for doing it is because they're children. They, as children, should not be drawing that kind of art and posting it online whether or not the account is public. Not only that, locking the account and only letting trusted followers see it isn't really going to help, because guess what? A lot of those followers are going to be other children. So by encouraging this, you're essentially allowing other children to see this art and exposing them to that. So essentially you've started a fucking chain reaction, because why? Like, if you really want to protect them from creepy adults, right, here's what you do. You don't tell them to draw suggestive art, right? And not only that, right? The thing is, creepy adults are gonna pop up regardless. So, no matter what you were trying to do to quote-unquote help, it's still gonna happen. It's just that you were also being irresponsible by enabling that kind of talk with a child. Well, no, we're not done here. Quote, in most of my messages, I was distant and didn't want to reply as I was uncomfortable. Well, it doesn't look like that from what I saw. I ended up blocking them instead of telling them why they made me uncomfortable because I was not comfortable with the spamming and being sent weird messages. Show proof. But I ended up apologizing privately and I failed to tell them why I was uncomfortable, and I apologized for that. I apologized for not being upfront. But to call this child grooming is ridiculous and irresponsible, ironic as hell, and makes actual pedos get away with shit. I was on the receiving end of CSA, so why would I want a kid to receive the same treatment? To accuse me of something like this over blocking someone for making me uncomfortable with being upfront just shows me who you really are, all of you. The ones making memes and denouncing me publicly, you all make me sick, but it's Twitter when something happens, shit gets blown out of proportions. And to dumb fucks who are saying I groomed my niece/family member, we're all adults, here's a statement from them. I will cover that screenshot in a bit, but here we have the classic groomer move of deflecting criticism. The thing is, you should have blocked them the second they mention this kind of stuff to you instead of giving them advice on how to get away with it. Not only that, you're pulling this stupid fucking mental gymnastics logic that pro shippers do whenever they get caught. By trying to excuse your behavior, by denouncing the people who are criticizing you and telling them to essentially focus on the real things that are happening, it downplays your whole behavior because now you're making it look like it's okay compared to what other people are doing. No, it isn't. And not only that, you're really getting offended over some goddamn memes. Like, unless they're actively offensive, you shouldn't have anything to worry about. You're like a goddamn Tumblr feminist getting offended over a joke. Goddamn. Like, this is some of the worst fucking mental gymnastics I've ever seen, and that's saying something considering that I know a couple of people who have exhibited mental gymnastics that somehow weren't as bad as this, and only one of those people is younger than Puppychan. And here, they show off a screenshot who was apparently from their niece, so we're going to read that off as well, because, of course, it's what I do. Quote, hello, Puppy is my aunt, and I'm really disgusted that I even have to make this message. Seriously foul, I am not a child, simple as that. Puppy has been nothing but nice to me and has helped me through some tough times even. There is no grooming happening, heck, Puppy rarely leaves the house and all we ever do is chill. Very disappointed that everyone skips to the worst spots in the whole scenario, we're just hanging out. Okay, I'm not saying there aren't people claiming that Puppychan groomed their niece, because everyone knows that nobody fucking says that. But including this kind of seems like a moot point and doesn't really help. Like, your niece saying that you didn't groom her doesn't help the accusation that you are engaging in inappropriate behavior with a different 15-year-old. We aren't talking about your niece, we're talking about this specific case, right? But wait, there's more, because we have continued deflection here. Quote, grooming is manipulating and asking minors for inappropriate messages to your own personal gain. This whole situation is traumatizing, but this has inspired me to open up about my actual grooming later that I kept quiet for a year. Also, after this, I won't talk or interact with minors anymore because it's just trouble brewing for everyone. I was irresponsible about this whole situation, but that doesn't make me a pedophile/groomer as I experienced this firsthand. I could not make this shit up even if I tried. Like, firstly, we all know damn well you're going to be talking to minors again. Don't be fooling yourself. We aren't stupid. Secondly, the fact that this situation conveniently inspired you to open up seems a little suspect, but I'll get into that later. And thirdly, just because you've experienced that kind of trauma doesn't prevent you from inflicting that same kind of pain onto other children. I cannot believe I have to explain simple common sense to a 19-year-old. Just because you experienced it firsthand doesn't excuse you from being one yourself. For Christ's sake. Now, let me clarify my second point about it being a little suspect that they suddenly opened up, right? Like, accusations of being a groomer are what just now gave you a good reason to open up and not a whole other situation, right? Like, hell, I only opened up about my experience not to excuse myself and my actions, but because I felt like people deserved an explanation after I came to terms with it, right? Now, of course, it might be the same case for Puppychan. They could just now be coming to terms with it and just now getting comfortable, but then again, the timing seems way too perfect. Like, if I'm wrong about it, you can slap me in the face, I guess, but anyways, that's really all. That's all I really wanted to cover because this whole situation is a goddamn mess. All in all, Puppychan really needs a goddamn reality check because out of all the stupid people I've dealt with, they're one of the few that make me genuinely angry because of how fucking tone deaf they are throughout this whole situation, and the fact that they're resorting to deflection and backpedaling and using their own situation as an excuse for their behavior makes their actions even more deplorable. I feel like for Puppychan, taking accountability is just a little too much to ask. But anyways, what did you guys think about this whole situation? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Whatever. Talk in the comments. Unless you're this idiot, in which case I don't want to fucking hear you. But anyways, with that out of the way, this is McQuartza. Have a good day, everybody. And signing out. Have a good one.